Football was my first love.
For 6-7 months out of the year, I really take on 100%.
My kids are getting older, and I'm not available to them.
She didn't feel like I was doing my part for the family. And she's sitting there going, I have goals and dreams too.
Alright, listen up kids. Today we're gonna learn what not to do in your relationship/marriage. Featuring Tom Brady, the guy who was already rich and didn't know.
Goodbye.
Really, Luciana? Another divorce video? Believe me, I do not want to be known as a channel that only talks about relationship and divorce, but it just keeps happening. Gisele Bundchen, brasileira linda, a role model to so many young women in Brazil back in the early 2000s. And yes, I'm gonna say Gisele Bundchen and not Bundchen because she's Brazilian and that's how we say in Brazil. When I heard about the news, being a fan of her and everything that she has given back to the world, I was really upset, you know, hearing the news that her family is now splitting. And of course, I wanted to know more about why this is happening. Alright, before we talk about the divorce, a little recap for those of you who don't know much about the couple. She was married to 7-time Super Bowl winner NFL player Tom Brady for 13 years.
The two tied the knot in 2009 and are parents to 12-year-old Benjamin and 9-year-old Vivian.
Gisele, also stepmother to 15-year-old John, Tom's son with ex Bridget Moynahan.
For the most part, they have been a drama-free couple and family up until now.
He did tell me that he was going to play only for 10 years. When I met him, he said, listen, I'm just going to play for 10 more years and I'm going to win 1 Super Bowl and I'm going to be happy. Now you won 2 Super Bowls, it's the end of the 10th year. And I was like, yoo-hoo, let's go. I'm ready. But then he's like, no.
Still got a few more to go.
Yeah, he said that.
My life's focused around football. It always has been and always will be as long as I'm playing. I'm not putting energy or focus on things that I don't deem that are important.
You know, when I became a mother, it really became my priority.
I'm going to determine what's important for me.
Tom, what more do you have to prove?
So when Tom announced back in July that he was officially retiring from the NFL after 22 seasons, as arguably the greatest NFL player in the sport's history,
Tom Brady, ladies and gentlemen, Tom Brady!
Gisele was super thrilled, having her partner at home more often, participating more in his kids' lives. It was great news for the family. But then a month later, he said, you know what? I'm gonna go back to being an NFL player.
I'm not leaving.
And that made our long-legged, glorious-haired Gisele very upset.
There's been trouble in the marriage over his decision to unretire. Gisele has always been the one with the kids. They had agreed he would retire to focus on the family, then he changed his mind.
I mean, wouldn't you also be upset?
She took a deliberate step back from modeling to focus on her family and support her husband's NFL career.
But then when it was his turn to retire, so he could spend more time with his family and enjoy their time together, he couldn't do it.
Why don't I live my life in the ways that are going to be most fulfilling to me, which for me is doing what I love to do. Doesn't mean I should just stop playing.
I feel like I'm so driven to succeed in football, and that's taken me away from other important priorities, which are my kids, my wife.
I just wanted so much to be there for my children and to be there for my husband, for him to have the space to live what he loves so much. And I was actually living what I love so much, which is being a mom and a nurturer.
She's the one that, you know, supports the family, makes a lot of the sacrifices.
I think she has all the right to be upset about his decision to go back, playing this violent, weird sport that I don't understand how it works.
She does not like the narrative that she was a naggy wife who just wanted him to quit, but she did have serious concerns, particularly about the physical impact that the sport has on someone.
And he has had a very successful career until now. It's not like he's still on that stage where he's chasing his dream. He's already there, and he has been there for a long time. And he also doesn't need to hustle and provide for the family since they're rich, and Gisele is also successful. So yeah, his decision to unretire was around August, and at the beginning of October, that's when Gisele said, you know what? I've had enough.
After 15 years of waiting for Tom to put her and their family first, Gisele finally did it for herself. She told Elle magazine, I've done my part, which is to be there for Tom. I moved to Boston and I focused on creating a loving environment for my children to grow up in and to be there supporting him and his dreams. Now it's going to be my turn.
With much gratitude for our time together, Tom and I have amicably finalized our divorce. In recent days, my wife and I finalized our divorce from one another after 13 years of marriage.
Oof. In his divorce announcement, Tom said my wife, and Gisele said Tom.
We arrived at this decision amicably and with gratitude for the time we spent together. We are blessed with beautiful and wonderful children who will continue to be the center of our world in every way. Maybe I'm being really unfair, but the nerve of him to say his children are the center of his world when even he has admitted he has never even been there for them on birthdays and holidays, etc.
Now, of course, we're not naive. There were probably some other underlying issues. I guess the unretirement was just the last drop. And Gisele gave us a few hints here and there on social media, confirming that was the case.
You can't be in a committed relationship with someone who's inconsistent with you. Read that again. Now, there's been a lot of speculation going around that Gisele and Tom had actually been separated months prior. According to Page 6, just in May, Gisele had made a statement to Vogue saying, "I don't think relationships just happen. It's never the fairy tale people want to believe it is. It takes work to be really in sync with someone, especially after you have kids. His focus is on his career, and mine is mostly on the kids."
Everything moves so fast, okay? They're already divorced because they had a ironclad prenup in place. Smart people. So, you know, splitting their assets wasn't that hard. She got $400 million. He got $333 million, and you know, they're going their separate ways.
Gisele says they'll continue co-parenting to give them the love, care, and attention they greatly deserve.
In fact, she's so committed to making the co-parenting work and not disrupting their kids' life so much that even though they're now exes, they're also neighbors. Because she just bought an $11.5 million home in Surfside, Florida, right across his home. I thought it was really nice. Maybe she really likes the area, but it's nice that the kids, you know, can choose where do they want to stay, you know? Just like take a boat and cross to the other side.
Now maybe when he has the kids 50% of the time without Gisele there to default parent, he'll be forced to engage and interact with them. That's my hope anyway.
You know, a lot of the fans that have supported you all these years, they feel like they know you. They want to know if you're okay.
It's a very generic question, Jenna. It's a very generic question. I said the other day, you know, I wrote something on my social media. It's, yeah, you know, I've always tried to do the best I could do here, and then when I leave here, I try to do the best I could do, and that's what we all try to do. I'm sure everyone sitting in this room, everyone sitting home is trying to wake up every day doing the best they could do for their families and their career, and I'm no different.
And this whole thing made me wonder, like, why are careers so important? I mean, there's an obvious answer to that. We have our sense of, like, self, we feel complete doing the things we love. I mean, when you do love your job and your career. But some people are so connected to their careers, doing what they love, that they don't know who they are without it. But I think at some point you gotta choose. Like, are you gonna give more importance to your dreams in your career or to your family? Because the time you spent chasing your dreams, of course, they're very important, but it's the time you are away from those that you love. So that's why balance is so important, because you can't get those moments back. But I guess in his case, I mean, being a professional NFL player, like a professional athlete, you can't really split your time like that, right? It's not like as if you're working in an office, you know, and then you come home and like be present. You gotta give more of yourself to the sport so you can be the best you can be. Every choices have consequences, and yeah, from the family standpoint, it was the wrong choice, and apparently it was also the wrong choice professionally.
And as for Brady and his career, there's really no doubt that he's the greatest quarterback, but he has been struggling on the field this season. The Bucs on a 3-game losing streak, and Thursday night, Brady notching yet another record. Unfortunately, though, this one was for being the most sacked quarterback in NFL history.
You know, sometimes when people have been doing what they do and chasing that success for so long, they don't realize that they already have it all. So as I said in the beginning, like, he was already rich and didn't know.
The rapper Logic actually has a great song about this whole topic called Legacy. As I lay on my deathbed, I realized I was wrong. I had been the richest man in the world all along. A beautiful family that all I did was ignore for financial stability and fear of being poor.
Alright, don't forget to leave a comment, drop a like if you enjoyed this video. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you're new here and you enjoyed the video. And if you did, these other videos are great recommendations that YouTube think you might like, and yeah, you should click on it.